Sure. So today my presentation will be on navigating NFT, who, what, and how. The reason why I'm sharing this is also because I am actually finishing my book titled NFT from Zero to Hero. So I want to share some insights with everybody, and then I will also try to keep everything simple and everything very straightforward. All right. So again, a quick introduction about myself. I'm currently the Chief Digital Advisor, the Mongolia Productivity Organization. My first book was published 2.5 years ago. It's called Blockchain Revolution 2030. Is one of the bestseller in South Korea. It's been published by Kyobo Books, and they are the largest South Korean publisher. You know, I'm still an active advisor to the China ASEAN Business Alliance. I'm a partner of Passion Venture, which is a MAS licensed fund. Formerly, I was the chairman in Asia for BigONE Exchange. We are currently ranked top 30. And then again, you know, other things that I've done was advisory board member to Hyundai, former blockchain advisor to Asia Productivity Organization. And I also have a fair bit of time, 2 years, you know, as the chairman of the Esports Association in South Korea. So let me just go through, you know, why NFT is important. So I'm going to divide this into 3 different parts, you know, just to recap. You know, Web 1 is more for read, Web 2 is read and write, and Web 3 is read, write, and own. You know, so the transition from 1 to 2 is very significant, because if you look at the basic value, you know, and the use value, these are the fundamentals of how the value is being derived, you know, plus the market premium. You know, in my opinion, that forms a quick value of NFT. You know, so if you look deeper into the basic value consists of IPs, content, the different workload. You know, then the use value is about the identity, about the symbol, you know, about the use cases. You know, that shows a quick transition from 1.0 NFT to 2.0 NFT. You know, so the overview of the current market is as such, right? So unlike a lot of these standardized and fungible token that's split almost to infinite number of times, you know, NFTs are going to be unique, you know, in nature. For example, you know, John's 1 BTCs and Jane's 1 BTC are basically the same in function, property rights and interests, but an NFT can contain more information, including videos, pictures, music, allowing its creator to assign more value to it. So this is an overview, right? And then if you look at NFT, you know, so NFT therefore are ideal for recording and storing ownership of digital products, including artwork, games, and collectibles. And NFT market was worth about 10 billion, with the floor price of the top NFT collection reaching tens of ETH to about 100,000. You know, it has dropped significantly since. Of course, as of last month, I have contributed an article to Forecast and to a few other media, you know, talking about how the whole floor price and the whole market cap has dropped. You know, that's something else that you could Google online when you search my name. So the top NFT collections are still as such. You know, there's some differences in the ranking. You know, you can see the Bored Ape Yacht Club. You know, you can see Moonbirds. You can see Mutant Ape. You know, you can see Azuki. So these are all very prominent collections that are very well marketed and pushed by the community. They have very, very strong community. If you look at each and every one of them, they have a strong community either on Discord or on Telegram, and they have been actively pushing their projects into multiple spaces, you know, including art galleries and so forth. So who are the current participants in the NFT marketplace? I think we can think of so many of them, you know. Let me just dissect them into three different types. So number one would be the project developer. Is a developer may be an institution, an artist, or a license of IP usage. So these are the developer. Then we have the trading platforms. It can be centralized, it can be decentralized, it can be divided into different categories from games to artwork. And of course, selecting a suitable trading platform is one of the key consideration, whether it's for users or for the developers. Last but not least, the last segment would be users. The current NFT market participants are mostly crypto users. NFTs can also be transformed fans of celebrities or popular IPs into the crypto scene. So if you see the current demographics, it is as such. But are we keeping it as such? No, we are not. You can see bigger players like Crypto.com, Binance, Bybit. They are all putting up partnerships, endorsements, sponsorships with traditional big brands. So most recently, Binance signed Cristiano Ronaldo. This is a very big IP. Who would not know who he is, right? So we are all actively trying to convert more traditional users or more fan-based users into the space. So let me just run through, right? So like what I've mentioned about the creators, so creators of an NFT will first need to conceive a blueprint for the development of the project and then define their NFT's value proposition. This has already been touched on in the very first few slides. Then the creators will usually leverage social media approaches such as airdrops and whitelists to reach, convert, and retain seed round users and expand their footprint. In the third step, they will confirm the business plan of their NFT before selling it on any platforms. Finally, it is necessary to maintain the project ecosystem, the NFT scenario, etc. after the project is launched to increase the NFT value expectation. This is a very important note, for all the creators and all these users. You need to be very precise on your plans. Next, we look at marketplaces. There are so many of them. How different are they? From the business model, and what do you choose? So first one that I want to really bring out would be OpenSea. So OpenSea, without much introduction, they are the leading platform. So if you look at the Google index of OpenSea, half of the index for NFTs are actually coming from OpenSea. It is a low-cost minting platform. It has its pro and cons, for example, but it is one of the most exciting platform where you can see most NFTs on. Then we have Nifty Gateway. It's a vertical segment of digital artwork focused on artists. It's slightly different from what OpenSea is doing. Immutable X is a public chain infrastructure with high concurrency and low gas fee used to capture high quality game asset. Then NFTX is a NFT liquidity pledge fragmentation, with the focus of addressing NFT liquidity. So this is a very important thing. Freka is backed by a game information website with upstream game ecosystem to ensure sustained game supply. So the game is a segment with the most competitors. Then we have Autograph, is an IP driven and invested by NFL legend Tom Bradley. Looks Rare is a C2C open platform with focus on token economy. They have very unique token structure, very unique schemes and plays. So this is something that is cool. And then when we look at NFTs, the next topic, that most of us will really look at will be the introduction of centralized and decentralized NFT marketplaces. Sometimes it can be very, I would say, very confusing for some. Why do you have to choose a centralized exchange NFT marketplace versus a decentralized one? So let me just go through, basic terms. CEX means a centralized exchange in which all primary market asset, user information, and trading methods are subject to centralized management. So this is no stranger to many of us. How does it work? So the flow below shows how CEX connects project and users. The most important foundation of a centralized exchange is that the data is stored and processed by the exchange, including the NFT data and the user data. So this is why the trading of the exchange is more convenient. The transaction speed is more efficient and the handling fee is lower, because all these operations do not need to be actually on-chain. Only part of it in rate. I have a separate chart for this. And when the asset leaves the exchange, NFT will be on-chain. Then you look at the DAX, which is the decentralized exchange. Is better known as a DAX or decentralized exchange. That is a peer-to-peer marketplace where transactions occur directly between crypto traders. So all the transactions of the asset will be recorded on-chain. So three significant differences between the DAX and the SEX. So all the parts in the flow will be on-chain, which means it needs a gas fee and all the on-chain operations. DAX will not evaluate or manage your asset. So you have a certain level of privacy and also a certain level of security to a certain extent. And then users need to create wallets and get crypto before they can trade the NFT. And this is a high threshold for users who do not know blockchain before. So, users on the DAX will need to learn a lot of things, including, how you can store your private key, which platform can you see your NFTs on, and so forth and so on. So what are the different types of NFTs that you can see right now in the market? So the very common ones are PFP. Examples include CryptoPunks, Bored Ape Yacht Club. Typically, it's just a piece of nice profile picture. Then we have the more GameFi ones, which is usually found on games. Exile Infinity on the Ronin chain. Are one of the few examples. Usually the in-game characteristics and props are all part of the game. They have actual usage, and new users who play the game and hold the NFT asset are often the ones driving the price higher because they have the ultimate say. We have other things like IP based, so it's intellectual property rights based. So some of the examples that I would say would be J. Charles, Fanta Bear. These are all more Asian IPs that are right now in the space. Of course, we can see other celebrities, including Paris Hilton and so forth. They are all looking at different forms of IPs of NFTs. And then we have NFT artwork, people, Songting, for example. These are all very prominent artists, in the NFT space. Some of these artists, they were artists before NFT days, and they just transit very smoothly, right? Then we have the other type, which would be more of a membership and music base. So members get to access special merchandise, special real life and virtual events, and special content. So this segment, we have quite a big number of them. What are the necessary tools if we want to gain an in-depth understanding of the NFT market? This is often a very much asked question in the space, right? So first of all, you need to have the basic information. You have reality tools. You can view the project, ranked by reality, and then when they are when they are newly launched projects. So we have a raritysniper.com. You view the rarity of the project, and then you look at the NFT drop, via their calendar. And then we have a DAB radar. We have IC tools. These are all tools where you can access to more information. They give you first-hand information, fast, furious, and sharp. Then again, you have to choose your right trading platform. You have OpenSea that I've mentioned previously. They are the world largest, most transaction, most users right now. Then we have Magic Eden, the largest decentralized NFT marketplace on Solana. And then centralized marketplaces like Bybit, Binance, Coinbase, German9. These are places that you choose. Of course, choose one that you feel that it is most comfortable for you, and you can transact fast. If they don't have a entity in your country, maybe you should not choose the exchange. Find one that is available. Then we'll look at the browser extensions, right? So browser extensions, the more popular ones are MetaMask, the largest Chrome extension wallet with the most users on EtherChain. So in one of my presentation last week, organized by SUSS and 8BTC, in Singapore, I had the chance to be on the same panel with someone from MetaMask, Consensus. They have very good insights on what they want to do and the footprint they want to create in the space. Then we have Phantom, best extension wallet in the Solana network. We have Super C. These are very cool. This extension where they can alert you, with the different information that they have. Usually they are very, very timely. So where do you find good NFT projects? So there's a big list here, but I want to quickly go through. One would be the NFT Go, and then we have CoinMarketCap, we have CoinGecko, we have DAB Radar, we have Crypto Slam, we have OpenSea. If you look at all these different platforms, they actually have a few things in common. They give very proper ranking, and some of this ranking differs from website to website, from chain to chains. So you got to select one that you are more comfortable with and you believe in it. Special mention will go to this CoinMarketCap, because I think they have been very actively collating the data for NFTs, and of course Crypto Slam, which give very good statistics, month on month, week on week, on how the NFT directions are going. Then where do you choose? I would say we should also look at famous studios. So look at what they are coming out next. So we have the Lava Labs, founders of the CryptoPunks. We have Yuga Labs, founders of Bored Ape. We are all looking at what is their next step. So if you have other studios that you are looking at or eyeing them, you should start to look at the statistics, what the studio produces, and that will give you a very clear indication what you should buy and what you should not. Again, famous institution, A16Z, Benchmark. And then I also look at places like the more famous DAO, because, in a DAO, it's not actually just, just a community that come together to make some decision. They also come together to share information. So famous DAO, they have very prominent community leaders who will give you the best insights. We have Shark, AAC, 721, 404, CDAO, the list goes on. Watch out and look at some of this information in some of these DAOs. Last but not least, we should look at industry news. Some of our friends will say, oh, you should read so and so website, so and so a blog. But I think the fastest way to obtain the information would be from the three of them, which is one, Twitter. Is very fast. Information is very quick. Everything there with the comments by the community and by the crypto community in general. Then Telegram, is a place where people interact. You know, you can see all the actions, the real people versus the not real people. You can see it there. You know, and of course Discord, because Discord has always been a really good platform. Again, you know, in my opinion, there are less bots there. There are a lot of good insights that you can really find from the Discord channels. And then what is a successful NFT project then? So the crypto industry rules also apply to NFTs. Though they attract more attention beyond the crypto community, key consideration of a project, including the team, the background, the capability, the beliefs, and the ability to run and turn the roadmap into realities, are things that you should really look at. And then a successful NFT project is in the essence of a successful business plan. You know, an NFT price will naturally increase if the project, storytelling, and ability to turn story into reality are accepted by the market. Key consideration of an NFT project performance include the depiction and realization of factors such as the use cases, profit, expectations in the roadmap. So these are things that we really got to know. You know, NFT project is no longer something where you come up with an idea and then that's it. You know, we have to see whether they can realize the profits, they can realize the business model, and they can realize how to survive in the longer run. You know, sustainability is something very important. So a good example, a good community ecosystem is usually necessary. There's a whitelist example. You know, NFTs are often sold out in a short period of time, with the floor price surging rapidly, offering some high value users the right to mint. So these are things that we are always looking at. You know, there's a whitelisting, you know, that's often used. There's also free minting. You know, these are words that are always being used in the space. These are also a marketing strategy for you to fill up and sell away all your NFT or give away all your NFTs. You know, as the price of the native NFT asset increases, new NFT projects may be launched or tokens may be issued based on the NFT project to attract new holders while maintaining the rights and interests of existing holders. So this is very common. You know, you can see some of the most successful NFT projects launching their own tokens, even on launching their own derivative tokens. So what I want to share right now is more like a quick overview on NFT regulations. If you speak to different people, whether it's you know, they are from the east or from the west, you know, most people will tell you that, hey, you know, there's no regulations in NFTs. I think this is totally wrong, because right now at this moment, you know, we have you know, countries like South Korea, you know, looking at NFT regulation. You know, I'm also very actively giving advice to a few other countries, you know, about NFTs and how the rules can be formed in a way that is going to be a win-win to both the creators, the users, and also the government. You know, so there is a very, very strong need to have proper regulations. You know, I give you an example. You know, some of our friends will say that, hey, you know, Andy, we can have NFT derivatives. You know, we can hide derivatives or securities behind an NFT, you know, and then just sell it in the public. You know, this is something that I would strongly disapprove, and I would not suggest that this is a good use case, because you are just walking on fire, and there is a very strong tendency, you know, for all of these projects to get caught into regulatory issues. You know, so there's one example that I always like. You know, I always like to quote. You know, I have friends in Hong Kong, for example. They are very, very active in derivatives market. You know, they came out with a product like this, and then before they launch it, you know, a similar project, you know, in Asia, you know, got into trouble. You know, so they actually, well, didn't get into trouble, of course, because they didn't launch it. But I think the idea behind how NFT is being regulated is very much similar to how you see FTs are being regulated. So very soon governments will catch up and share their side of the story on how to regulate NFTs. I also want to put it in a different format, right? So if we as users of the crypto market, NFT market, if we can share and adopt the right kind of mindset, be a good actor, be a good person, try to self-regulate a bit, you will then understand that a lot of all these crypto schemes or crypto scams, by the nature of law, you should just eliminate them. Without all the users crazily putting the money into these scams, the scams will not be able to attract and draw in more people to invest into their schemes. So this is something that you have to practice, and this is a self-regulatory process, and all this information will be very useful for the regulators, and if you have all these very good concepts, you could always speak to your country's more active blockchain associations or blockchain lobbyists, for example. They will be the best person that you speak to, and table a proper paper to the regulators to show your understanding and to show your concerns, for the market. This is something that I always encourage people to do. I'm not involved in any of this association, but I'm always the person behind helping some of these friends to put up nice paper to their individual government, because I will not have the time to help them in every aspect. So this would be one way for you to do your part, to form the regulations. And then a quick overview of NFTs and the traditional business. I think when I first written my first book in Korean, I did mention a lot about NFTs, in my talks, in the book, and with different traditional business. Back then they laughed. They think that, oh, this is not possible. What is NFT? What can you do? Why would we buy in? But if you look at it today, in 2022, you realize that whatever that I've put forth in the book, Blockchain Revolution 2030, some of them have already happened. NFT is definitely one of them, and that also links back to the thoughts that I want to share, right? Traditional businesses right now, they do not really see NFT as a stranger. Some of them, they see NFT as a form to get more clients. They see it as a different form to be part of their membership retention scheme. It can even be a very simple coupon-like redemption, voucher that is digital, right? I mean, most of us already have and know how that works, right? So we should look at how we can work with traditional businesses a lot more, in 2022, coming 2023, and this definitely do not restrict, to the bigger brands. Some of these SMEs that I talked to most recently in Singapore, they say, hey, NFTs is only for the big boys, LV, Nike, and so forth. I think they're totally wrong, because NFT is actually a very simple logic, for them to maneuver. It is also a very simple way for them to understand. The simplest way, like I've mentioned, it could be, oh, I'm selling a bubble tea, right? Bubble tea shop. And instead of giving all these coupons and spending a lot of money on membership programs, just use the NFTs, right? That can all be done. It is very simple. It is very straightforward. Some countries, they provide these government grants. You should definitely speak to your country's representative to get that sorted out. It is not expensive. Do not be bluffed by some of these consultants or advisors or companies. They slap you with a big price tag. It is not expensive. it is not because of crypto or slapped with the word blockchain, they can charge you more expensive. It's not. So please, I really hope to see more SME adopting NFTs. And NFTs are really really straightforward, to be really honest. Just do not look too in depth or too complicated stuff. Some of them, they will say that, oh, there's a very famous a pet shop, a chain, in Asia. They came to me and say, hey, one of these NFT consultant, came to me and say, oh, what you can do right now is you can have one NFT 1, plus NFT 2. They give you an NFT 3, and NFT 3 can help you to do this and that, help you to groom your dog at a cheaper price and so forth. But I straight away told the guy, say, all you need to do is to have one NFT. There's no need to complicate things. There's no need to really spend too much time on educating, your users, how to use a wallet, how does NFT work, needless to say, 3 different NFTs, right? So just stick with one, and you can do very simple tasks with it. We have friends with a certain NFT, a high price NFT. It acts as a membership. You can go out to meet really high level people with the same NFT. That's also a very simple concept. Show the NFT, show the on-chain data. You can just use that as an access point, right? So these are very straightforward, use case and straightforward method of engagement, using NFTs. So again, traditional businesses should and must try to think about NFT in the simplest manner. And if you can adopt it in part of your business, hopefully that can drive you to the other level. This will be my last point, I remember. So what to look out for during the bearish times. I think there's no need to think whether it's bear or it's going to be bull. I don't think you should really think in this manner. There are opportunities in the bear times. There are opportunities in the bull time. It's just that it is different. Right now, not financial advice, I'm also looking at good NFTs or good crypto asset, at a lower value. You can look at layer 1 projects. You can look at technology-driven projects. Those are the projects that you should look at. And also look at those projects who are still continue building. Even at today's time, continue to build in terms of technology, in terms of team members, in terms of community. Those are the grade A projects that I would say, right? And what else do you really look out for apart from all this project? I actually am also looking out for new startups, very new, just launched, just launched last month, for example. People might think that I'm crazy, but as a venture capitalist, I am looking for people who are daring and people who have a different flair, during this down period. So I was talking to a game development company, just over the weekend, and then this morning I was chatting with a services-based company, that are going to launch their crypto base that is more related to law, how law services can be adopted into the system. So there's a lot of interesting yet crazy ideas that are happening during these bearish times. And then the last bit that I should also emphasize is I'm also, on my own personal level, I'm also looking at newly formed funds, to also invest in. These are good times for you to put money into better use by finding some of these newer funds, because they are new, they have a different eye to some of these details. They have new connections, new contact. So this is what I would do, during the bearish times. As for people in the community, and also on my Twitter, I often try to warn and act as a quick reminder, to the people at large, to be always very careful. Right now, you might have seen some of the token drop 90%. It doesn't mean it will not drop another 90%. So you have to find the projects with good value. I got to mention this again: good value, good team, good technology, and good community. With all this in place, all they need to do is to activate the hype, the marketing during the more bullish times. These are key steps, for people to realize what you should really look at, and not those that are coming out with some crazy name, and then you fall for it because you see that they are saying that it's going to be a next 100x token. There's no such thing. Do not be greedy. You might not be always 100% correct. So for me, as a very good reminder to everyone, and also non-financial advice, is always try to buy the token when you see an uptrend. I think that would be more straightforward. Don't keep telling yourself that, oh, today is the lowest. No. Look at it when it's an uptrend. Because you are a retail investor, I assume you have smaller pockets, and you don't want to take too much risk. These are the kind of information that I think I should be sharing. And then, last but not very least, what's next for the future? I think the future for cryptocurrency is very bright. I have again spoken to many different companies, in the last 2 years, listed companies, leading law firms, leading accounting firm. They are all trying to change their business model and mindset to look at things more in a crypto manner. Gone are the days, in 2018, where accounting firm will tell you that, hey, there's no way to account for crypto. No, right now in 2022, we have a way to account for them. And the future is very bright, because you see the traditional business transforming, and when they transform, they tend to, be more open. Those that are more open will also be a more fruitful journey for them, right? Because some of them, to be honest, until today, they cannot figure out how crypto is making money. Some of them even say that Bitcoin is a scam because there's no real revenue model, but it's not true. There are revenue model, but it might not be suited to your business. So the future is very bright. Governments are embracing cryptocurrency. That's something 100% certain. On my end, spoken to leading leaders in different countries. They are happily putting up plans to make sure that their financial framework would include things like crypto. And then for the technologies, everyone is very happy, to keep pushing. I had the chance to speak to Definity CTO last week as well, while he was in Singapore. We had good chats, about how technology is going to drive things forward, how technology is going to change our lives further, and using blockchain. Most people see blockchain as just blockchain, just a very expensive database. Like one guy has mentioned, he's in Twitter Spaces, but it's not actually true. Blockchain itself has a certain price, that's for sure, but blockchain itself can help with a lot of things. For example, automation. They can that is an added level of security for the current automation or industrial 4.0 modules, for example. So I think the future is definitely there. A lot of use cases. We might not really see it, the banks are not really talking about it, but I know some of them are really using blockchain as part of their clearing system, for their banking processes. So with that, I would end the whole presentation. And then if you need any